Hello, everyone. Looks like we're live. Happy Thursday night with Mel, Doerr, and myself. Hope everybody had a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. How are you doing, Mel?
I'm doing good, recovering from the holidays
Yeah,
and just hanging in there.
right.
How about you, Kevin?
Oh, same. I'm feeling much better, but it was a lot. I didn't do my Tuesday show this week. I was like, I just need a day to rest.
I didn't. I was going to do a show with Kim Copeland last night, but she's feeling under the weather,
No,
and
no.
I didn't do Monday's show because that was Christmas. But I'm going to do a show tomorrow night with Psychic Arthur, and then
Okay.
Monday with Linda Grindle. So
Very cool.
I just been kind of chilling.
hmm Yeah, it's I don't know. The holidays can be so stressful, but it just goes by so quickly too. So. Well, thank you so much for the super chat, Mountain Dancer. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was nice.
All right. Well, me and Mel are going to be answering political and current event questions. I haven't, with the holidays, I haven't watched much of the news. I watched a little bit earlier today, but um, I want to throw something up real quick. Julie says Mel was right again. He said other states would follow Colorado. Yeah, I just heard that Maine was taking Trump off the ballot.
And I intuit or I see or psychically predict, whatever verb
hmm
you want to put on it, is that I'm feeling a couple more states will also follow suit.
hmm
Um,
Like
so
maybe four total.
I was thinking three or four, um,
hmm
which, Susan Collins, is she from Maine?
Yes.
Um, so that's kind of, I think, isn't that karmic that she's from Maine and she, she's such a chameleon.
Mm.
Uh, and yet they voted to take Trump's name off the ballot. So let's see how she deals with that one.
Yeah. I still think though, and maybe this is for the primary, maybe he's off for the primary, but then when it comes to the November election, I kind of feel like the Supreme Court's going to say he's not convicted. And I know it doesn't say that in the 14th Amendment that they have to be convicted, but that's kind of where I see the Supreme Court going with their argument.
That's what I keep feeling too. You and I have talked about that, that
hmm
um, he's been accused of insurrection, but he hasn't been convicted.
Yeah.
Now, I think if it goes to trial in March or April and he's convicted, then um, then they can say okay. But then what he'll do is he'll appeal it. But
hmm
I think the conviction still stands until the appeal goes through, if it goes through.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll win on appeal. I can tell you that right now.
mm Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
his conviction.
hmm
So um, that's how I see it playing out. So I think you're right, Kevin.
Yeah, but it's also weird too because I feel like Trump might win the primary, but then when it comes to either the convention, like um, I think that's normally in the summertime. I don't know if it's a medical issue or what, but I almost feel like he won't be around come November is what
Can I
I'm kind
put
of
this one?
feeling right
Can I put this one up real quick? It says this is a good one from Laura Wright.
now.
Will any red states be successful in taking Biden off the ballot? Well, they can try,
Mm,
but I still think you have to have good reason to do so. And so, if the Supreme Court says that a person has to be, found guilty of insurrection, to have their name taken off the ballot, um, in a way, that's a good thing. I want to tell you why. Because what's going on now is okay, certain states are taking Trump's name off the ballot, and I think they should, but they have reason to do that.
mhm.
Whereas, some red states will be like, well, in that case, we're going to take Biden's name off the ballot for no reason at all, other than we want to. So I see the Supreme Court stepping in to stop that sort of thing from happening.
Yeah.
In other words, you just can't do it willy-nilly. You have to have a significant reason.
Well, right, they have to have a case to take him off, but I do think a couple states are going to try it.
They will, but they won't. But it'll blow up in their face.
Yeah, I don't see success with it either. I thought this was funny. Hannah McGrath. Hi, folks. Now that 45 is smelly, does that mean there will be more charges coming for him with Rico?
I like that. Oh, that was good. That was good, Ian.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm as we talk, I'm starring here.
Yeah, I got some started too. Do you want me to pull up our first question, or is there anything that you wrote down that you want to read on?
Well, could we just touch on this one really quick?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oops, sorry, I'm gonna pull this one up.
I was going to put that one up. Yep. Go ahead, Kevin. I'll let you read it.
And J Cat Lady says I could sure use some prayers right now in the emergency room, having trouble catching my breath, so I could really use some prayers. Absolutely, Cat Lady. Sending you a lot of love and asking the most benevolent outcomes for you and your health.
So let's take a moment. Everybody visualize a white, bright light and just visualize Cat Lady's name or her face or however you want to visualize it. Fill that light with love and healing and compress it and compress it. And on the count of 3, I call it the healing cannon. Let's send it to her like coming out of a cannon.
All right.
1, 2, and 3. I call that the healing cannon.
I like that.
Cat Lady, we've got you in our prayers and our thoughts, and
Yeah.
Keep us posted and let us know what the outcome is.
Absolutely. All right. So let's Mickey sent our first question in today. She says, "Is the war between Israel and Hamas, Palestine, a land grab by Netanyahu with the help from others?" Feeling I had.
I don't think it's the land grab. I think it's Netanyahu's way of keeping himself out of trouble right now, because it's diversion, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I also psychically see that Putin and Iran orchestrated that whole thing with Hamas to attack Israel because they wanted to make Biden look bad, but they also wanted to take everybody's eyes off Ukraine. And
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That was my hit when that attack happened. But I do feel like maybe, and I agree with your motivation. It's a diversion tactic to get the attention off of him and his crimes. But I do feel like he would love to gain some of that land too. So
If that
I
is
don't
that
think that's the main
secondary or maybe
intention.
third or fourth on his list, I think he just he's keeping this war going on. I mean, he could have defeated them like this if he wanted. He's keeping it going on because here again, it's a bit of wag the dog. At least that's what I into it.
Yeah, I agree.
Here we have Firefly.
Thank you, Firefly. Hope you all have a great year despite the GOP crazy. Yeah, it's going to be a bit crazy.
Yeah, buckle up because we're going to be in crazy town for a while, you all.
Yeah. But it does kind of feel like, even though the energy is a bit chaotic and all over the place, crazy, it does feel like, 2023 was kind of the year of accountability and things being brought to light. But I see that kind of continuing into 2024 too.
I think 2024 is a year of consequences.
Yeah.
That there are consequences for breaking the law. So
I agree.
All right. Well, that's nice, Teresa. Teresa Balthazar says, like and subscribe to Kevin and Mel's channel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Give us a thumbs up too. That really helps.
And everybody, thank you for sending healing energy to Cat Lady.
Yeah. We have such an awesome community, don't we?
We do. We really do.
Anything Halloween. Hello, Jim Jordan wants to subpoena Jack Smith. Will Jack return the favor and subpoena Jim Jordan? Eventually, I see that.
Subpoena Jack Smith for what?
Right.
I
know that Jim Jordan does want he does want all the information on the January 6th stuff. He's not going to get it, though.
He's not going to get it. And the other thing is, here again, it's like, for the January 6th commission, they had valid reasons to subpoena some of these people, right? And the responsible ones showed up. The ones that had something to hide didn't.
Right.
So, here again, it's out of control. Well, they subpoena some of our people, so we'll subpoena some of theirs. It doesn't work that way. I mean, Jim Jordan has absolutely no reason to subpoena Jack Smith. And if he does, Jack Smith, guess what? Is not going to answer a bunch of frivolous questions.
It's all just a show, and it's all just they want to come up with something that goes into their narrative.
They have zero.
The DOJ is weaponized to go against Trump and the Republicans, but they don't have anything. It's all, trying to get anything to stick. We're seeing the same thing with them trying to impeach Biden. He's done nothing wrong.
If anything, a lot of those House Republicans, the MAGAs like Jim Jordan, they're the ones that are using, are weaponizing the House. If because you did to us, we're going to do it to you. Well, I see an end to this BS. But anything Halloween hit on something here, and it's kind of a joke, but it's true. But I do see Jim Jordan being subpoenaed, and I do see him called to testify, and I see him under indictment at some point.
I do too. I've always felt like Jim Jordan is one of the later ones that gets in trouble when more indictments start coming. Like, there's going to be waves of indictments, and he might be like the third wave. So it might even be towards the end of this year or next year when he's actually subpoenaed.
Okay, Robbie says, thank you all for praying for Cat Lady. I have to put my cat Sasha to sleep tomorrow. Could use some prayers as well. Oh, well, Spirit says you're making the right choice, and we will send prayers and healing energy your way as well.
Of course. I'm so sorry, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm so really sorry. It's terrible when we lose a family member.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robin says here that MTG says she will not approve a new budget as long as Jack Smith is still prosecuting Dump.
Well, she might not approve a budget, but there are other people that will.
Yeah. But, I do see with the budget, I do think there's going to be issues. And I've felt it all the way along, but it's kind of like them just pushing it out and delaying. But they're going to have to come together to do something with
anything Halloween set money.
Oh, thank you so much, Anything Halloween. Appreciate that.
All right.
Wiki says, Jack Smith, I cannot comment on an ongoing investigation and put it on a loop.
Right. That was good. That was a good one.
All right. Christopher Davis. Good evening, Mel and Kevin. It was reported today in Political that Lauren Boebert has decided to run in a different district that is more conservative. Will she still lose?
Well, she wanted to run in a different district because she knew she didn't have a snowball's chance in Hades of probably winning in the district that she was in. I still see her voted out.
Yeah. I almost wonder, too, and maybe somebody in the chat will know. I know it's a pretty conservative district, but I almost wonder if there's a primary for that, and she doesn't win it.
I don't know, but I don't see her. I see her out of office.
Yeah, and she's in trouble too with the January 6th stuff.
Oh yeah, she is absolutely
judgment. So I don't think so. I don't think the people in this district are going to judge her very well.
I mean, it's a stupid political move on her part. Oh, I don't have a chance of winning in this district, so I'm going to change. I wonder if she officially changed her address.
Oh, Joni says that there is a primary. Yeah, I almost feel like she's not going to be taken seriously, and the other Republican will win it.
Okay.
Yeah, $10 district. Yeah, and he retired. Yeah, but you know what? He's disgusted with MAGA, but you know, some of these Republicans need to grow a spine and call out the MAGAs. And I do see them getting there eventually, rather than just stepping down and trying to hide from all of their craziness.
Somebody's asking about stock advice, and we really can't do that here because that would show that we're like, even though intuitively we could feel which one to invest in, we're not stockbrokers and we don't have a license for that. And we don't want to make it seem like we're picking one product over another.
Yeah, and I tend to stick away from stock questions. I'm just not very knowledgeable in that, and not really comfortable giving out stock advice.
Oh, I didn't know this. Give me a second. Unless we just start this, it says Boebert will likely lose to another Republican. You don't have to live in the district, just in the state. Regardless, I still see her out.
Yep, me too. All right. Sorry, I'm starting questions too. So.
Oh, okay. That's what we're both doing.
If you want to pull the questions, I can start them.
Okay.
Earth Mama says the Ukrainian Air Force took out the Russian ship. Does this mean their Air Forces is coming online?
I hear that. Absolutely.
We've been saying that for a while.
Absolutely. Let me just find where we're at here with the stars. Okay. Okay.
I unclick them when I'm done with them.
I got it. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Go ahead, Kevin.
Speaker Johnson and male prostitute a real thing? Thanks. I don't know about that, but I do feel like we'll just say he's very adventurous. Okay.
I think that a lot of things that'll come out about Speaker Johnson, that will be true. And some things that he's hiding in the closet, and I will leave it at that.
All right.
I think that was
and
right. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Connie B says for entertainment purposes only. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
All right. Mountain Dancer. Will Dean Phillips' campaign affect President Biden in the presidential race? I don't think he'll even. I don't see it really affecting it at all. I actually, when I read on it before, I felt Dean Phillips was really going to regret trying to run against Biden because it's like the end of his career.
Yeah, I don't see it affecting Biden at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's Melania, and what does her energy feel like these days?
She's probably hiding from Trump.
I don't.
She wants to be first lady again. She said I don't think she does.
No, she never really did. But her and Trump, it's more of an arrangement. I think he just had his Christmas party too, and she wasn't there. I almost feel like she might be in New York, but she kind of does her wifely duties when she needs to, then kind of goes away when she doesn't have to be around him.
She can go. She can go celebrate the gold toilet or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, and I get that she's getting kind of. I've always felt like when Trump starts losing his money is when we'll see her trying to separate so that she can get something before it's all gone.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they have an arrangement that she does her thing and she just stays quiet, and at the end of the day, she'll get this, and that. That's what I see.
Yeah. All right. Does Trump and his team really think he will win in 2024? I do think Trump is delusional enough to think that he's so great.
I think Trump thinks he'll win, but I think most of them around him are seriously doubting it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like they're all brainwashed. It's a cult, so they're kind of all sucked in where Trump is their leader, and that's the reality, and they can't see reasons. So, but I agree with you. I feel like there are some people around him that are skeptical that he could win again.
Okay, CC Ryder says,
The 4 charges for Trump relating to January 6th do not include a charge for insurrection/treason, so he can't be convicted for. Yeah, and maybe that's an argument they use too.
I still see, though, that Trump will be indicted for insurrection. I
Hmm.
see an indictment against him for that. So that's what I'm coming up with. All
Okay.
right. Oh, Kevin, this one, you'll like this one.
Was Governor Mike DeWine part of the bribery scheme in Ohio?
I'm not
I
feeling.
think that he was. I don't think he was a main person in it, but I do feel like there was some knowledge there. Is what I'm picking up. I don't
He,
see him getting in trouble for the bribery
I
scheme.
don't either. I mean, if he knew about it, it might have been after the fact, but I don't know. But um, um, I just don't see any. I, I think for DeWine, I'm not picking up anything,
Hmm.
so I don't think it's gonna. I don't think they're gonna come after him.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't see that either.
Okay, Sylvia Munoz. Oh, you want me to read it, or you want to?
I'll read it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was a target of a swatting incident. Did she fake it attention or publicity? What's a
For
swatting
Marjorie Taylor
incident?
Greene, it was about publicity. That's what I pick up.
What's a swatting incident? I'm not. I don't even know what that is.
Um, I didn't hear about it, but I'm still picking up that it was for attention.
Okay.
Okay.
County says it was probably her daughter pranking her. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I'm not even sure what that is. So I hadn't heard. Is that where like they go and do like a check-in, like the cops do a check-in? People call the police and they send the SWAT team to that person's house. Okay.
And so I'm sorry. What did it say?
Mountain Dancer says someone called the police and send a SWAT team to a person's house is what a swatting incident is.
I think it was done for attention and publicity. Is
Got
what they think. Okay. Um. Oh, this is a good one. Uh, Connie B says,
Now, Jim Jordan is interfering in a legal proceeding. He should know this.
"Well, what he should know and what he does are two different things."
Well, right. I mean, he was trying to get what he was trying to go after Bragg in New York and trying to call them in.
And where did that go? Nowhere.
Nowhere. He got threatened saying that you're impeding an investigation.
Well, Ian McGrath comes up with a good one here too.
Jordan wants to find out what is on Perry's phone. As
Bingo.
Jordan spoke to on the phone on January 6th. Plus, Maxwell's book is dropping soon. 176 names coming out. This will be interesting. Yes, it will be.
You know, Jim Jordan will not succeed in suppressing evidence about himself because there's going to be a lot coming out about him.
Oh
And this
yeah,
just shows me the crap he's pulling, tells me how afraid he really is that things are going to be made public. That's not going to bode well for him.
yeah. And the Epstein um, names is going to be a huge deal. I think it's supposed to come out in January.
Oh, I can't wait to read it. All righty.
And when I read on it, I had the tower fly out of my deck when I was shuffling. So I think there's a lot of shock and awe there. All right, Pauline. Hello. Will Crossfire Hurricane binder be found? Does it prove Trump was not legitimately elected?
I see the binder. I see copies of it coming forward. So
Yeah,
it's not destroyed. I think somebody's hanging on to it.
yeah. And I do feel like I agree with you. It feels like there were several copies made, and but I do see them finding a binder. I don't know if it proves that Trump was not legitimately elected, but I feel like there is some stuff in with that. But I've always felt like this is probably a couple of years away, that they will find that, with Russia's help, is what got him elected, and that being more public.
Okay. Um, I think you're right. I think it's going to show the influence that Russia did have in it,
Mm,
and it was a huge influence, and the misinformation and the timing of that whole Hillary Clinton, released the email thing 2 weeks before the election, and so that's all going to come to light.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's see here. All right.
Jeffries, will Jeffries be speaker before January 20th, 2024?
I see him as speaker, but I don't know if it's by January 20th, 2024. I don't see Johnson um, fulfilling his full term as speaker either.
I actually feel like there's a strong possibility that Jeffries may be speaker before then.
Well, good luck getting Republicans to vote for him.
I think it's going to be such a shit show between now and the election that, like, I've always felt some some Republicans that are more moderate, they haven't had the spine to really act up against the MAGAs, but I do see some of them working with Democrats because
Here,
they're already.
let me get my hat because I'll show you what it's going to be.
All right.
Everybody sees the mess behind me. Can you see what it says?
Shit show. Yeah.
It says shit show supervisor. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
So I think, you know what? We should all get one of those. In fact, what I'll do is when I get to 21,000 subscribers, I'll put a bunch of names of my members in a hat or whatever, and pull out a name, and I'll send their official. How's that?
Shit show cat.
You got it.
Love it.
All right. I saw that online. It's one of those things you have.
Well, you might be wearing it a lot going into 2024. So.
I think I better put a raincoat on because things are going to be flying. We're going to all be ducking a lot. That's for sure. All right. It says
Drum was the original German name when
the Beelzebub,
family migrated to America.
Okay, Beelzebub's a demon. I don't think it was Drumpf. I think it was. Oh, wait. Let me check. Hold on just a second. I gotta Google this. Hold on. I think it was. Give me 1 second.
You're good. I'm just getting caught up with the chat, making sure I didn't miss any.
Okay. Oh, what? I'm sorry. I take it back. It was Drumpf. Yep. Descended from an itinerant Hans Drumpf, who settled in the. Okay. So they changed it from Drumpf to Trump or Trump. I thought it was. Yeah, I think so. Oh, I didn't know that. So there we go. Good point. Yay. Thanks, Robin. Okay.
All right.
Here's a good one.
How badly did Nikki Haley screw up on the Civil War question by refusing to say slavery? Well, I don't know if it was her refusing to say it. She did walk that back. But I think it was a big gaffe on her part. And the reporter or whoever questioned her really schooled her. I almost felt like, though, the person that was asking that question was trying to set her up to look stupid, but she didn't think about it. I don't know if I don't know if I see it really badly affecting her. I've always felt like Nikki Haley may be the runner up in the Republican primary, because I have a feeling like I'm seeing like two of the candidates dropping out very shortly, and I think DeSantis is one of them. What's the other one? Ramaswamy might as well.
Satan should drop off the planet.
Right.
My psychic light bulb just went on when somebody, CC Writer, brought up something about insurrection. um, that the fact that Trump flew fake elector ballots to D.C. and was going to try to slip those in to Mike Pence to make it look like they were the real elector ballots.
Mhm.
That shows right there that this was orchestrated, that it had been thought out, it was premeditated, so that was a precursor to the insurrection, because if that didn't happen, here's what Trump was going to do. So
Right.
Jack Smith will be able to link all that together. And it comes back to, psychically, I feel that Trump will be indicted for insurrection and found guilty at some
Yeah.
point. So it's,
There's a
I mean,
lot more charges coming,
well,
not just for Trump, but
this whole cheeseburger thing, cheeseburger, whatever his name, I call him cheeseburger.
mhm.
Um, boy, he's come up with some emails and tapes and things, and I was looking at them a little bit before we got started, and they're pretty damning.
Yeah.
So, ooh, it's really going to be an ouch to Trump. I can tell you that right now.
Well, what did we say? All of Trump's minions were going to be flipping to try to save themselves. So it's just more and more evidence coming out.
Yep, that's true. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Hi, Kevin and Auntie Mel. Do you see the storms on the east coast of Australia easing up anytime soon? Happy New Year to all. Big love from Lake um,
Newcastle.
Macquarie,
Oh, yeah.
Newcastle, Australia.
Um, how do you say? Good day, mate. Good day, mate. Good day, mate. I love the Australian accent. Of course, to them, we have the accent.
hmm
Um,
I'm feeling flooding in parts of Australia, and I don't know if it's from this storm, but I do feel like it continues on for a little bit, not too long, but um, I do feel like it going into January.
I think Australia has a bigger landmass than the United States. I mean, it's huge. It's a continent.
hmm
But well, I think it's going to be a rough year, a rough summer, weather-wise.
Well, it's their summer now, I believe.
Well, yeah, December 21st was the first day of summer.
Got it.
But I think, there's a lot of storms. I do see the storms on the East Coast easing up a little bit. But I agree with you, Kevin, where I see flooding and things like that, especially
Mhm.
in Eastern Australia. But there's gonna be at least 3 or 4 huge storms that'll hit. But but I see the current pummeling stop for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to write some notes down for 2024 predictions. Hopefully that I have that done sometime in January. But I keep getting a lot of flooding globally. Um, that's what I keep saying. A lot of water, and I do feel like a lot of volcanoes and earthquakes in 2024 too. That ring of fire area is really active.
Um, a lot more inclement weather. I mean, it was 63 in Lexington, Kentucky on Christmas Day. I mean, here we were gone, but it
Oh
was
yeah,
really, it's
it was
unusual.
60 degrees here in Ohio on Christmas Day.
What I do see happening is a lot of unseasonal tornadoes, like
Mm,
winter tornadoes, which are really rare, but because of global warming.
yeah.
But anyway, okay.
Is there any news about John Schneider and his blank threats towards Biden and Hunter? Um, I'm trying to remember if that was. Uh, I remember somebody threatening both of them, but I actually felt like there was going to be some trouble for him, like he's being watched really carefully.
Okay. Um, Patty B or D.
The calendar year of 2016 will be the same for 2024. Seems like history repeats itself. Will it? That would mean Trump wins. I don't know what you mean by calendar year of 2016 will be the same.
In other words, in other words, it's like history repeats itself. Like in 2016, Trump won. Could it mean that Trump wins again?
I don't see that.
The answer, no.
No, I've never seen that.
All right. Oh, maybe the for 2016 is the exact same as 2024. I still don't see Trump winning. So,
No, I don't either.
um,
But we can't get complacent with it either,
no, we have to speak up and we have to vote
because
because
energies can shift. I don't see him being president, but we all know how those elections they're always close, presidential elections.
we that's right. And if we assume that Biden's going to win, we have to do more than assume. We have
Hmm.
to speak up, we have to get out and vote, and we have to make sure that other peoples get to the polls to vote. That means if you have to drive somebody
Absolutely.
there, do so, because it's imperative,
Yeah.
because we
We
could
can't have another 2016 where nobody was happy with either of the candidates, so they didn't go out and vote.
well, if people made protest votes or they
Hmm.
didn't vote, and that helped put Trump in. So
Right. I don't see that happening. So, but we can't be complacent with that. Laura says, will Bill Clinton be on Epstein's list?
I don't see that. I don't see that at all. Okay.
What is next for Kevin McCarthy?
Sweeping floors at Mar-a-Lago.
I feel like he's going to get into. He won't be. I don't see him in elected office anymore. I feel like that part of his career's over, but he may still, go out and try to fundraise or um, work for like the RNC or something along the lines of that.
I'll tell you who else is going to end up being gone too is Johnson. Once he's done
Mhm.
with Speaker, he's out.
I don't think he's going to be in there much longer. I think when it comes to the budget votes next month and in February, it's going to be another circus in the House.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene can say she's not going to vote for the budget. Americans we're going to get tired already of, the ultra right wing Christian nationalist MAGA holding the government hostage,
Hmm.
holding our budget hostage because they don't like something that somebody did.
Yeah.
You don't get to hold the country hostage. That's not why these people are elected. They're elected to serve the people.
Hmm.
And if they pull crap like that, they're not serving the people at all.
That's where I feel like that's where that division between the Republican Party happens. And I actually feel like there'll be a couple Republicans that vote on alongside of Democrats and could very well get Jeffries in there before the next election. And I do feel like there's a couple more seats vacating before 2024 too in the House.
Right. All right. Let's see here.
Do you see Swampy taking Iowa? I do think Trump will win Iowa.
But even if he does, it doesn't mean anything.
Hmm.
I don't think that's a bellwether of anything anymore. It used to be, but I don't think so anymore.
Well, it's the first primary state, so it kind of shows. But I mean, if history repeats itself, I think Pete Buttigieg won Iowa in 2020, and Biden became the nominee from
Rest
South
my case.
Carolina. So
That's my point.
yeah.
Okay.
Will Mexico help the Biden administration at the border by keeping immigrants in Mexico and do their processing there?
I think they'll lend a helping hand. But
They're
I'll
not going
tell
to
you,
do enough, though.
but I'll tell you what I see them cracking down on. For example, there was a chartered plane that flew into O'Hare and had
Hmm.
over 90 something immigrants on it. And they had two people on the airplane kind of supposedly overseeing the immigrants. When the plane landed at O'Hare, they tracked the airplane number, and it was chartered through the Texas Department of something or another. And so the two people that were on there that was supposedly keeping an eye on the immigrants or whatever, they took off. They took
Hmm.
off in a taxi when the planes landed, so they couldn't get caught. So now I think what the city of Chicago is going to start doing is those planes coming from Texas or anywhere, checking to see if they're chartered, and if they are, doing a passenger manifest and see who's on those planes.
Hmm.
Abbott's going to try to keep pulling that crap, and that's illegal, I think. And
Yeah.
so it's
I
going to.
actually feel some of the when they did it the last time, the pilots that dropped off the immigrants, I actually feel like they might get some legal trouble.
So do I. All right. So do I. Huge legal trouble.
Hmm.
Okay.
What do you see for the lady that had a miscarriage? Will she be prosecuted? Um,
For what? Abuse of a corpse? I mean,
right. I see that there's a bit of a fight about it, but I don't see her being prosecuted.
well, if they do prosecute her, I mean, it's going to help make Ohio turn purple. I can tell you
Yeah,
that. The same
I
in
feel like they don't want to rock the boat that much.
women
I
are
mean, they
hot
would
and mad.
like to, but I don't see them rocking the boat that much. But I do think um, this issue isn't going to stop before the next election. I kind of got the feeling that a woman would actually pass away because of these abortion laws, and it was going to, I feel like, protest over it.
I
Oh,
see like states
civil
like
unrest.
Texas turning purple because of the way they treated that one woman.
Yeah,
And I see Ohio becoming more purple.
yeah.
Seems like they're headed in that direction.
I think it's going to lean a little red, but I do feel good for Sherrod Brown and our senator in 2024. What do you think will be written about Trump for years, like movies, books? I always felt like he would go down as the worst president in the history books, and there will be a lot of movies and stories about him in the future.
Are the most corrupt. At one point, I
Mhm.
thought George Bush would go down as that, but now George Bush looks like an angel compared to Trump.
Exactly. Isn't it weird that it's like it wasn't that bad back then when we had, even though in that time we thought it was, he was an awful president, and um,
I
but
think
now comparing where we're at now with Trump and how dangerous he is, and how how much hate and anger he spews, it's like I would take George Bush any day over
me too.
over
I
Trump.
think um,
It
I
puts
think
things in perspective, I think.
history will vilify Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Um, just like when you see movies about during Nazi Germany with Hitler, or movies about Pol Pot, or movies about Idi Amin in Uganda. He's going to be vilified by history, and a lot of people are going to be ashamed to say that they ever supported him. Um,
Hmm.
I'm sure that there'll be a few supporters that behind the scenes will be, yeah, Trump, but um, history will tell the truth, and it's not going to be nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, this is a good one here.
Will SCOTUS member change in 2024? I see Clarence Thomas out before
I
the
do
next
too.
election.
Um,
I do. I feel like two more leaving after Thomas, but I almost feel like that might be after the 2024 election. It might be like 2025.
here you go, Kevin.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon. Blessings.
All right, here we go.
What is the future of Harvard and its efforts to fight anti-Semitism?
Well, anti-Semitism unfortunately is on the rise, and
Hmm.
there's no room in a society for it to be xenophobic and for it to vilify groups of people just to place the blame on somebody.
Mm,
Uh, I mean, look at what Trump did to Muslims, the Muslim ban, and Mexicans, how he talked horribly about them. Uh, so I don't know what you're asking, Samelia, about the future of Harvard. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be around for quite a while.
yeah,
But I see an emphasis once again placed on tolerance, acceptance, and inclusiveness for all people. And
yeah,
so that's where I see that's what I see happening in a lot of the universities is inclusiveness and equality. So,
I agree, Mel. 100%.
all right. Is that all of them that we start? Or let's
That's
see.
like 40 questions. I don't think we
Uh,
might get.
I have to go back into the comments to check it out. Let
Oh,
me
here's
see.
one. Do you know? Do you think Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift will marry?
I don't really know enough about them to make a comment on it. I,
Hmm.
I
I
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't like to make predictions about celebrities
Okay.
because that's their private life and I don't want to be intrusive. That's just my preference. But if other
Mhm.
readers do, that's okay with me too. But I don't, I feel weird doing that. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I kind of felt, I don't know. I feel like they might marry, but I don't see them lasting forever. I almost feel like they probably won't marry. If they do marry, I don't think it will be for very long.
um, okay. Let's see here. I'm scrolling to help find some stuff here, Kevin. All right.
Um, Donna just says Ron Johnson CNN report arranged to fly fake electors' ballots to Pence. Is that what
That's
you were talking about?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. And other things too, because the report that I didn't get to read all of it, but it said that it was two members in Congress, uh, two Republicans in Congress who were going to help get the fake elector ballots to Pence. Pence didn't know about it. He wouldn't know if they were fake or real. But so Ron Johnson is going to be in hot water, as we've already predicted.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
I agree with you. I feel like this story is big, and it continues to more information coming out
I'm
about it.
telling you, it's going to be explosive. There's so much that's going to come out, and it's going to be like, whoa.
Mm,
I mean, it's going to get really spicy and dicey,
absolutely.
right?
Michael Hill says, "Will things turn around for Ukraine in 2024?"
The Ukrainians will not stop fighting. And,
Mhm.
when I watch Putin's supposedly speech, I think it was filmed at different times, you
Yeah.
know, with different outcomes. But when he said all Russia was gaining ground and this and that and blah, 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 that was done to uh, dishearten people in Ukraine, like saying we're winning, we're winning. It's an old propaganda trick.
Yeah.
The Ukrainians will not stop fighting. They're not going to stop
Well,
fighting.
they just took out one of their big naval ships too, from Russia. So
That's
you
right.
know they're definitely continuing to fight back. But I
So
do go
well,
ahead.
I see Ukraine pushing back a hell of a lot in 2024. I see them getting the money they need, and I see them getting a lot more airplanes too.
Hmm.
So they're not. I mean, they'll start to get some of the supplies they need.
Yeah, I do think the war. I think it will still go on in 2024, but I do feel Putin's going to go in 2024, and I feel after that it's a little bit of a de-escalation. I've said I've always felt like the boundaries, like the eastern Ukraine and Crimea, there might be some disputes about that land, but I see Ukraine getting it all back. It might just take a little bit longer, but I see it settling down a little bit towards mid to end of next year.
So do I. But I mean, when this war started, I said it was going for quite a while.
Hmm.
Essentially, Russia's trying to fight a conventional war, and Ukraine's using guerrilla warfare. And you cannot win a conventional war when you're fighting against an opponent who's using guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
And that the guerrilla warfare is something clearly in Ukraine's favor.
Well,
So
not even just that, too. Um, I think it's been talked about how, Russia and their army and all of their military technology was, um, comparable to the U.S. And I think we're seeing that it wasn't as good as what
not
they
at
thought
all.
it was.
So much for propaganda.
Ukraine was supposed to be taken over 2 weeks, a month after
Yeah,
Russia
well,
invaded, and they're still
and it's
fighting.
2 years, right?
Yep.
And it's 2 years. I think Putin's running out of money
Oh,
and
yeah.
and and equipment and supplies. I mean, I'm sure he's getting them from other places, but a lot of that'll come out too. So,
Hmm.
and I see United States posing sanctions against those countries that are helping Putin under the table.
Yeah. Is a
Oh,
tornado in Manchester, England due to climate change?
that's a yes. I mean,
I
I
had
didn't even
heard
know that
about that.
England has tornadoes.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about winter tornadoes too, and um, you were just talking about that earlier on in the show, but I hadn't heard that.
Oh, I love this one. Becky
Boebert?
Gilbert. Hi, Becky. Becky's coming to
Yeah.
Africa with us again. I always say that. I'm so excited.
Oh, nice.
She says Lauren Boebert.
Boob.
Boebert. That was good, Becky. All right. Uh, let's see. Um, I'm
I'm just going to pull this up. It's not a question, but Ian McGrath said Ron Johnson said on July 4th, 2018, when he was in Moscow, that he preferred being there than being in the U.S. Johnson is a traitor, 100%. The Kremlin has got him by the short. Curly is 100%.
well. I guess my response to that is, if you like it so much there, then stay there.
Right. But I've said it, and I do feel it's going to come out before the next election. Um, that dark money channel from Russia to those in our government, it's going to be exposed.
It's totally going to be exposed because I see some people in Russia coming forward.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like it might be after Putin goes.
I think, well, I see some people in Russia coming forward even before Putin goes, because I think that they will defect, like, to the
Mhm.
United States or somewhere or country in Europe, and they're going to come out. They're going to have proof about, Putin's interference in the election, and some U.S. officials who were giving Putin information. There's going to be a lot that'll come out. You'll see.
Mhm.
So, okay. Here we go. We were questioning uh,
So
swatting.
we,
Um,
is the action or practice of making a prank call to emergency services in an attempt to bring about the dispatch of large number of armed police officers to a particular address.
I think my feeling is it was done for publicity.
All right.
Uh, let's see here.
I just started quite a few of them.
Okay, shall we? I'll go back to them then. Let's see here. Okay, we're both reading comments and starring them. That's what we're doing.
Well, talking about Taylor Swift again, will Taylor Swift endorse or tell her followers to vote for Biden in the summertime? I think absolutely. And
Absolutely.
I actually said before, I felt like she was going to be really crucial and really getting people out and excited for um, Gloria Johnson, who's running against Marsha Blackburn in the Senate race in Tennessee. Getting a lot of people registered to vote too. Will Grassley be around to get his indictment?
I hear yes.
I have to tell you, but in 2022, when he was up for re-election, I thought he was going to lose. He had the absolute worst cards I think I've ever thrown on somebody in my life. So that he's definitely got some trouble coming his way.
I see him in trouble. All right, here we go.
Will Rand Paul, Hawley, Cruz, and Ron Johnson see any consequences in 2024?
Johnson clearly. Uh,
Hmm.
at some point, I see Ted Cruz voted out. Yay. Josh Hawley, I see under investigation. Rand Paul, I just see the Brillo on top of his head disappearing.
You know, I think all three of them, all four of them are in some kind of trouble. I do feel like Cruz is a bit of a snake and really careful and kind of slithering out. But I think the other three, I do see consequences. I don't know if it's in 2024. It might be 2025, but I see big scandal around all four of them
Okay.
coming up sooner rather than later. Do you think Jenny Thomas will be charged soon in the insurrection?
I pick up she's going to be charged for lying to Congress, because when they called her in, or she said that she didn't participate in it, she didn't know anything about it, that whole thing with buses, and they
Hmm.
said that, she supposedly helped bring in buses of people, and then they said she didn't, and then it's coming out now that she did. Um, I see her charged for, I don't know if it's obstruction or lying to Congress. When you lie to Congress, I don't know what that charge is, but I see her charged with that. And I do see her being held accountable and charged for her for, I don't want to say her contribution, but
Oh, well, you can call it that.
for her contribution to the insurrection.
I've never felt jail for her, though. I almost feel like she might make some kind of deal.
Um, well, she might say she'll take it to the Supreme Court, but then her husband's going to have to recuse himself if
Yeah,
he's even in
I don't
prison.
even think her husband will be a justice by the time she's
Mm-mm.
called out for it.
This is a good one from Rose
Hold
Blue.
on one second, Mel. Book Bewitched said, "Who did I say had the worst cards?" Chuck Grassley.
Chuck Grassley.
Rose Blue, I saw an update last night. Ukraine took back a town. Russia lost more tanks, troops, and more planes. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a bit of a brutal winter there. Um, but I think you've even said it too, Mel. It being really hard for the Russian troops.
I see, like what happened to Hitler when he invaded the Soviet Union. I mean, he got, I think, all the way. I don't know, was Stalingrad? I forgot, but he got, or was it Moscow? But then what happened was the winter hit, and that severe winter, that's what caused Hitler to really uh, lose when he tried to invade Russia. He almost had it, but the winter, and that's exactly what I see happening to Russian troops. Is going to be a really, really harsh winter,
Mm,
and it's gonna cause our help to create the defeat of Russia and Ukraine.
yeah.
Um, I think it'd be nice if Ukraine defeated Russia entirely, and then they put Zelensky as president. That would be karmic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Uh, uh, Michael Hill. Is that why? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that why Clarence will leave SCOTUS? I almost feel like he'll leave for health reasons, is what I'm picking up.
Or so he'll say.
I think he does have some health issues.
He does. All right.
Another member from United Russia Party fell out a three floor window on Wednesday. Yeah, that's how they like to take care of those close to him, right?
That's my standing joke. Yeah, they fell out a first floor window.
I see those around Putin. Like I said, I feel like he's still alive. He's very weak, though. Um, I feel like those around him actually starting to revolt against him.
I see a lot of people in Russia don't like him either.
Hmm.
So, and I see people in Belarus that are going to start to protest against Lukashenko. So that whole area is going to be a mess.
Yeah. Do you have any inklings about West Coast earthquakes or tsunamis in 2024?
I don't see any tsunamis hitting the West Coast.
I do feel like there is. For me, I felt like South Pacific, Indian Ocean. Like I do feel like there might be some kind of wave in that area. Um, that's something I was picking up for 2024. But I do feel like there's definitely a couple of earthquakes on the West Coast.
yeah, but I think they're going to be minor.
Yeah, I don't see like anything super major. Do you see how many people in Congress and Senate will be held accountable for January 6th? I've always picked up between 8 to 12 people.
I saw 7, so
Okay.
um, but those could be 7 major players. I mean, we already know of 2 in Congress that helped try to get those ballots. So I don't know if they mentioned any names, but well, it'll come out. This is going to be so explosive. You have no idea.
Yeah.
An artist, she gave
Thank
$4.99.
you so much, artists.
Yep. All right.
Somebody just messaged and said I can't find um, rates for readings. Send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com and I can we can go over all of that.
Yeah, I don't put my rates on my website. So in order, to inquire about a reading, you have to call my office or email, and they will let you know the rates and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not seeing any more here. I think we've answered them all.
And the ones that I got started, we have some more coming in, but we're about at the hour mark anyway. So
We just hit the hour mark.
yeah, we did. So I think we'll wrap there for today. But
it's a wrap.
I think between now and our next show, there's definitely going to be a lot of stuff coming out. It's been a little bit of a slow news week from what I've seen of it anyway. But it feels like there's more big breaking news. January is going to be really crazy with all of Trump's court cases and deadlines for legal filings and all of that.
It's going to be insanity. One word.
Choke up.
There you go. Get your tickets out, folks. Buy your tickets. I'm going to take copious notes of current events between now and then because I'm sure they'll change. It's like the weather in Chicago. They'll change moment by moment. So anyway.
It's hard to keep track of everything.
Oh. Yeah, it has been a little bit slow week news-wise, but I haven't watched much of it this week. I've just been so busy. So, and it was kind of nice to get a break from it, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
All right. So next Thursday, your channel?
My channel.
All right. And if anybody wants to get a hold of Mel for a reading, how do they do that?
They can call my office, 847-590-5411. Or go to my website, www.meldoerr.com. And somebody will get back to you. Kevin, how do I get a hold of you?
You can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. And I have both of our information in the description box of this video. So if you need to get a hold of us, it's all down there.
And everybody, please, over the New Year's weekend, be very safe.
Yeah.
If you're going to go out and drink, don't drive. Call a cab, call an Uber, call a Lyft, whatever. And I'm wishing everybody a happy holiday.
Yes. Happy holidays. And, we're getting into 2024. So a happy new year. And may 2024 bring in a lot of blessings and abundance for everyone.
Okay.
All right. Take care, everyone. See you soon.